Hi, my name is Kainton Munonye, and I want to welcome you to this presentation on defined activities. This is the second process we are going to discuss under the project time management knowledge area. Sorry, this should be time management we are talking about, not scope management. There is nothing like defined activities in scope management. So I'm talking about time management. Alright. Previously on the project time management knowledge area, we discussed plan schedule management. Then we have an output from plan schedule management, and that is schedule management plan. Today we are going to be looking at defined activities. What is defined activities? Defined activities, according to the Pinball Guide 5, is the process of identifying and documenting the specific action to be performed to produce the project deliverables. The key benefit of this process is to break down work packages into activities that provide a basis for estimating, scheduling, executing, monitoring, and controlling the project work. There are 4 inputs to define activities. The first one is schedule management plan. Second, scope baseline, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets. The tools and techniques used for defining activities are decomposition, rolling wave planning, expert judgment, and then the outputs are activity list, activity attributes, and milestone lists. Let's now take a closer look at these ITTOs so that it will become a little bit clearer. For the input, we have schedule management plan. Remember, the schedule management plan is the output of the plan schedule process, and that defines the procedures and policies that will be adopted in planning in the schedule management process. We also need the scope baseline. The scope baseline comprises of the project scope statement, the WBS, and the WBS dictionary. The WBS, the deliverables, the constraints and assumptions documented in the scope baseline are considered explicitly while defining activities. So we have enterprise environmental factors. For instance, organizational culture and structure, published commercial information and commercial database, and project management information system is part of the input to define activities process. And then we have organizational process asset, for instance, lesson length database. Templates, existing formal and informal activity planning related processes, procedures, and guidelines. These are the inputs to define activities. Let's now look at tools and techniques of defined activities. One of them is decomposition. We also have rolling wave planning, and then we have expert judgment. Let's look at this one after the other. What is decomposition? According to Pinball Guide 5th edition, decomposition is a technique used for dividing and subdividing the project scope and project deliverables into smaller, more manageable parts. Activities represent the effort needed to complete a work package. Remember, a work package is the smallest or the lowest level in the WBS. Remember to create WBS is a process under the project scope management knowledge area. And the output of the create WBS process, of course, is a project scope baseline. Let's not digress too much. Let's just continue on decomposition. We are saying that decomposition divides or subdivides project scope and deliverables into smaller, more manageable parts. Activities represent the effort needed to complete a work package. The defined activities process defines the final outputs as activities rather than deliverables as done in the create WBS process. Each work package within the WBS is decomposed into activities required to produce the work package deliverables. And involving team members in the decomposition can lead to better, more accurate results. So take note that the project deliverables or scope is broken down to smaller items called work packages during the scope management process. Now, this work package is now further broken down in the project time management process through a process called the decomposition. Another tool and technique used in defined activities is rolling wave planning. Rolling wave planning, according to the Pinball Guide, is an iterative planning technique in which the work to be accomplished in the near term is planned in detail, while the work in the future is planned at a higher level. It is a form of progressive elaboration. Therefore, work can exist at various levels of details depending on where it is in the project life cycle. During early strategic planning, when information is less defined, work packages may be decomposed to the known level of detail. As more about the upcoming event is in the near term, work packages can be decomposed into activities. Alright, let's now look at the outputs. Collect requirement output are three: activity list, activity attributes, and milestone list. The activity list is a comprehensive list that includes all scheduled activities required on the project. The activity list also includes the activity identifier and a scope of work description for each activity in sufficient detail to ensure that project team members understand what work is required to be completed. Activity attributes identifies multiple components associated with each activity. What of milestone list? A milestone list is a list identifying all project milestones and indicates whether the milestone is mandatory, such as those required by contract, or optional, such as those based upon historical information. Milestones are similar to regular scheduled activities with the same structure and attributes. But milestones have zero duration because a milestone represents a moment in time. Alright, so this is how we wrap it up on defined activity process under the project time management knowledge area. A quick recap on the ITTOs of defined activities. Inputs are schedule management plan, scope baseline, enterprise environmental factors, and organizational process assets. Tools and techniques are decomposition, rolling wave planning, and expert judgment. Outputs are activity list, activity attributes, and milestone lists. I hope this video has been informative, and I would like to thank you for viewing. Remember to check out the next presentation as we look into sequence activity or sequence activities, and that is the third process we are going to discuss in the project time management knowledge area. Once again, Thank you for viewing.